Let's look ahead to the round of 32 on Saturday. We got some really good games. Starting things off with Purdue and McNeese State. Purdue a 5.5-point favorite, total 143.5. I would look at McNeese in that game, plus 5.5. I take some money line as well. This McNeese team has a bunch of Power 4, Power 5 transfers, right? This isn't like a mid-major team that's just made up of, D2 guys and JUCO transfers and all this stuff. They got transfers in from Georgetown and Syracuse and all these places. Will Wade is a terrific coach, and their defense is tough to prepare for on a short turnaround. The offense is kind of the weakness of their team, but they're going up against one of the worst 2-point defenses in all of college basketball in Purdue. I like McNeese tomorrow, plus the points. I also like Arkansas, plus the points against St. John's, and I'd look at some money line in that game too. Coach Cal's team's getting hot at the right time. Their offense is so streaky, man. It feels like they play a half of basketball where they look unreal, and then they play another half of basketball where they can't hit water if they fell out of a boat. But they played well for the majority of the game yesterday against Kansas. And Kansas, the reason they were able to get back in that game yesterday was because they played a 2-3 zone. St. John's isn't going to do that. They have the best defense in the country. They press. They play man-to-man. That's what they're going to do against Arkansas, and I think the Hogs are going to be able to carve up their man-to-man a little bit. I like Arkansas tomorrow. Michigan and Texas A&M. Give me the Aggies on the money line at minus 140 against Michigan. I think A&M, their offensive rebounding ability, their physicality going up against Michigan, I think it's going to get Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf into foul trouble. Expect Wade Taylor to play well also, so I like A&M in that game against Michigan. Texas Tech and Drake, this will be a real interesting game. Both head coaches, Grant McCasland for the Red Raiders and Ben McCullum for Drake, really good friends. And Drake's team plays how Grant McCasland's team played when he was at North Texas a couple years ago with the Mean Green. So where Drake's style and their pace can throw teams off like it threw off Missouri yesterday, I don't think it's going to throw off Texas Tech. So I like the Red Raiders. I think they're a good money line piece tomorrow. 7.5, I think is probably a good point. If it gets to 6.5, I like that. 7.5 still would probably lean towards Texas Tech. Creighton and Auburn. Auburn 9.5-point favorite with the total of 150.5. I like Creighton. Auburn just isn't right. There's something just wrong with them right now. I am concerned about them, certainly. And Kalkbrenner going up against Janai Broome. That is a bad matchup for Broome. I think Creighton can hang around, keep that game close. I like them plus 9.5. Give me BYU tomorrow on the money line against Wisconsin. This line, it feels like, should be like 2.5, 3. It's staying at 1.5, though. Wisconsin's defense does not force turnovers, and that's why I liked VCU yesterday against BYU, because they do. BYU's guards, you got to give them credit. They handled it really well. They got a pro in Igor Demon, and Richie Saunders is a terrific shooter. I think that BYU offense is going to be tough to prepare for on a short turnaround for the Badgers, so I will take BYU tomorrow. Give me Houston minus 5.5 against Gonzaga. This should really be an Elite 8 game. It's a crime we're getting it in the round of 32, but I like Houston minus 5.5. And then UCLA and Tennessee. Vols are 4.5-point favorites. I think this is going to be a popular play in a lot of survivor pools. I would stay away. I would be careful at Tennessee. UCLA, good teams that they can hang with are teams that want to slow it down and are good defensively. That's what Tennessee is. I think UCLA plus 4.5 could pull off an upset tomorrow against Tennessee.